Hi guys, welcome back to Train Simulator 2016. Okay, so today we're going to drive in standard mode, and we're going to be driving on the what's it called? I've lost it. It might be the Great Western Main Line. East Coast Main Line? No, not East Coast Main Line. Saw it there a minute ago. It's an Oxford train we're looking for. Ah, there it is, Oxford to Reading Local. That's what we're going to do today. So it's about 40 minutes, but it's 2 green bars in the difficulty, so it should be quite easy. So Driver Network South East Class 166 on a simple stopping run from Oxford to Reading. 40 minutes easy, so it sounds like there'll be quite a few stops. So let's have a look at that. So we'll just wait for that to load. Usual loading screens. Shouldn't take too long, hopefully. It does take a while to load some of these scenarios, but hopefully not too long. There's quite a lot of stuff it needs to load in terms of graphics and all that sort of thing, so it does take a bit of loading sometimes. So there's one of the DLC that's out now on Steam, BR Class 40, and also Hamburg to Lübeck. And another VR train there. So these are all DLCs, I believe. So all of those could be downloaded from Steam. So I'm just going to go into the cab. So we're at Oxford, so we need to open the doors here and let passengers on. So let's see if there's any sign of anybody. Oh, there's a few people around. Not sure they want our train, we'll see. Doesn't look like it, doesn't look like anybody's getting on at the moment. The doors are open, so it looks like maybe not. So let's go inside and we'll put the reverser into forward, which should have us near enough ready to go. As soon as the clock hits 14:07, you may depart. So the guard has just signalled he's ready, but we need to wait for 13 seconds. So down to 10 seconds now. We're in a 25 mile an hour speed limit. Okay, so here we go. We've got a green signal in front of us. Another train going by there. But he's coming to a stop at the red signal there. So we are going to go up to about 25. Clearly that lady on the platform didn't want us. She must be waiting for the next train. Maybe she wants a faster one, because this one is a bit of a stopper, I think. So 25 speed limit at the moment, coming up towards a 90, so it doesn't look like it's going to be terribly slow in terms of speed limits or anything. Okay, so that's fine. We're on 25 point odd. You can go up to 26. As long as you don't go 26 or over, you won't get speeding, so 25.9 would be fine, but we're now in the 90. So we're going to accelerate up. Let's have a look outside. Some big buildings there, blocks of flats or something by the look of it. That's the internal view. So there's our passenger. He looks very relaxed. So we're on our way. And Radley in 4.6 miles is our next stop. So Radley platform 2 by the look of it. If you need to check what your stops are or anything, you can bring up the task list, and you can see there are quite a few stops, 9 in total. We've done the first one, so we're heading for number 2, but quite a few stops pick up passengers from various stations. So another train going the other way. So we're heading down to Radley. We're now about 4 miles out, so we can keep accelerating for a while. That 25 is pointing to the left, so that's going to be a left-hand track that I don't think we'll be on. So I don't think that 25 miles an hour will apply to us. Rather large lake or something to the left and right by the look of it. It's nice to have a little look outside occasionally and sort of see what's there, but you do need to be careful that you're not out the cab for too long, because there'll be a speed limit or something you need to be aware of, and somebody wrote a law that says as soon as you look outside you'll miss something. So it's usually best to be in the cab view as much as you can. There's 25 on that left hand track down there, but we're staying out here, so we're in a 90. Another sensor coming. Yep, green signal from that ping. If it was anything other than green, we'd get the alarm and have to acknowledge it. If you don't acknowledge it in time, the emergency brakes will come on. In career mode you'd lose a lot of points for that. The train will come to a halt and then you have to reset and start off again. So important that we acknowledge those signals if we do get anything other than a green signal. Hopefully we'll have greens all the way, but of course you never know. Some of the more difficult scenarios, we'll perhaps try one with yellow bars in the difficulty next time. Very often you're doing things like following a slow running train in front, where signals are going to be yellow and potentially red at times, so they can be quite interesting. Okay, so we're now a little over 1.5 miles out and doing 80, so I'm going to start to coast and let it lose a bit of speed, hopefully, if I can get it to go to 0. It doesn't want to go to 0. Oh, there we go. Oh, no, -10. Well, -10 will be fine. That will be gently slowing down. You can see Radley's coming up quite fast now, so I actually need to brake a bit more than that, I think. We don't seem to be slowing that much at the moment. That's better. Hopefully we can get our speed down before we reach Radley. You see the speed is starting to come down quite nicely now, so I think we'll be fine. You don't want to overshoot stations, because you will lose points and so on if you do overshoot a station, and possibly your scenario might come to an end because you've not met the conditions. So we're just coming into Radley now. Excuse me. So we're not far out. So we're going to apply the brakes a bit now. Try to make sure we stop by the end of the platform, which shouldn't be a problem, hopefully. Okay, so we're coming to a stop. We're right on 0.0 miles, which is exactly what we want. So if we have a look outside, a few people getting off. So there's one or two getting on as well. So we'll go back to our cab view. Actually, we'll have a quick look inside. Passengers are still there, the same ones as before. They haven't got off yet. So back to the cab view. I'm just waiting for the red line to get across to the point where it says we can go. Book departure time from here is 14:13. Well, we're a bit late then, so we better try and speed up a bit. So train should start pulling forward, hopefully.
Welcome on board this service. To avoid unnecessary security alerts, please do not leave luggage unattended on station passengers are on train.
So announcement to the passengers there about not leaving their luggage unattended. Security reasons. Always a good thing to remind people of, but really we should all know we shouldn't leave bags unattended. But it does happen sometimes, I guess. So it looks like we're coming up on another sensor there. Yep, so another green signal, so that's good. And we're 3 miles away from Appleford. Bit of a cloudy day, but birds in the sky. And again, it looks like we're coming up, I'm not much mistaken, on lakes again. There's a lot of fishing lakes around the Oxford area and between Oxford and Reading, so that may well be what we're seeing there. So getting to about 2.5 miles out of Appleford now, so it won't be too long before we get there. Quite pretty area of the country, Oxfordshire. Quite an attractive looking bridge here. Not quite what it's a bridge over, but it's a bridge over something. Water by the look of it, over the river. Could be the Thames. Thames flows down to Oxford, certainly, from London. So again, we got the sensor telling us the signal's green, so all good so far. And now we can see Appleford coming on the display at the bottom, the scrolling display, so we're about 1.6 miles out. So I'm basically going to effectively coast into the station from here. Clearly this can't be the Appleford platform I can see in front of me, because we don't appear to have reached Appleford yet. So I'm not sure which one that is, but obviously we're not stopping there. So I'm going to apply the brakes. Another green signal coming up. Speed limits are not a problem, because we just need to get our speed down, ready for the platform at Appleford. We're reasonably confident we'll do that without too many problems. Ease off the brakes a little bit because we're coming down to 40 now, so we should easily be able to stop. Coming up on another bridge. Not sure what this one is. Is this water again or is this a road? Oh, it looks like water again. Possibly a quite wide river, so it could be the Thames. Around Oxford there's also the Cherwell. I don't think the Cherwell's that wide, so I'd imagine that could well be Thames. Anyway, let's brake now, ready for the station platform, and we'll see if there's anybody at Appleford who wants to get on our train today. Quite a cloudy afternoon, but hopefully there might be a few passengers. Well, there are people on the platform, certainly, so let's see if they want to get on. Okay, that's a warning, no doubt, of a signal that is not on green coming up in front of us, so we'll need to bear that in mind once we've completed this stop. So let's open the doors and have a look and see what's going on. So a few got off, there's a few getting on at the far end of the train I can see. Not terrifically long train, but fair size I guess for a passenger train. What is it, 3 cars by the look of it? And you can see we're far from full, but there are people in there, we can see. So we'll go back to the cab view, ready for the guard to tell us that we're okay to go. Supposed to be leaving here at 14:17, so we're still a bit late. So let's see if we can get a wiggle on and get some speed back somewhere, get some time back with a bit of luck. Didcot Parkway is 2.11 miles away.
Welcome on board this service. When the audible warning sounds,
Another passenger announcement there about being cleared the doors when they're about to close. And we've got this, what looks like a yellow signal coming up. Yep. So we mustn't go too fast here because single yellow indicates that the next one could be on red. And we've got a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit coming up as well, so going to make sure there's a warning sign for the 40-mile-an-hour speed limit that's coming up. So I want to make sure that we're not going too fast because we could have a red signal to deal with. You zoom in and have a look forward. I can't see the signal as yet to confirm if it is indeed on red. There's a car waiting there. You can hear the crossing. Well, we have a warning that it's not green, that's a sure fact. Can't see the signal yet though. It's going to be either double yellow, single yellow or red, given that we got that warning. And as the last one was single yellow, there's a possibility this one is going to be red. Yeah, it's red at the moment by the look of things. So we definitely don't want to be going too fast. Yep, the signal definitely appears to be red. Can't see that it's changed as yet, so red usually indicates that there is a train in the block in front of us between the next two signals. And because of that we need to slow down and potentially stop at this signal and wait. Ah, it's gone to, you see it's gone green now, and we're changing tracks as well. So we're okay to move on. But we are coming into the 40-mile-an-hour limit, which is very possibly because of the change of track. You normally get lower speed limits where you need to change track, otherwise there's a risk of derailing if you try and do that at 90 mile an hour. So we will change track in 1 second or two, and we're fast approaching Didcot Parkway as well. So to be going no more than 40 won't be a problem. So there you go, we've crossed over onto this other line, and now we're headed down this way. Oh, a warning. Okay, it's green, so there's a signal for the sensor for the green signal rather. So we're not coming too badly. The board indicating 25 there, but that didn't show on the scrolling display below, so we were speeding. Don't think that's entirely our fault because the scrolling display didn't actually show that speed limit. By the time I saw the board it was a bit too late, I'm afraid, but not to worry. We're in standard mode, not career mode, so we're not losing points for that. But this is a good way to learn the route, and then once you know where those speed limits are, even if they're not shown on the scrolling display, obviously you're prepared for them. That's what real train drivers do. They drive routes and obviously get to know those routes. One assumes, I don't know, but I assume that train drivers generally drive the same routes every day. It may not seem like there's a lot of variety in that, but it does mean that they do get to know the route and where speed limits are and so on. Unless there are temporary speed limits due to works on the line or something, in which case that's a different matter. Normally all the speed limits are shown on the scrolling display below, but that one didn't seem to be, unless I missed it. I don't think it was there, so not quite sure why that would be. Anyway, we'll stop here. We're at Didcot Parkway. Didcot's near Oxford, got a very big power station there. Supplies electricity to most of Oxfordshire, I think. I think we're going to be running late, unfortunately, but we'll see if we can do anything to pull that time back. Okay, main thing is we're letting people off, letting other people on. So there you see the power station in the background that I was talking about, all those big chimneys. That's Didcot Power Station. So back inside the train. Signal's on green, that's fine. We're about to be in a 70 mile an hour limit, so we can hopefully try and get some time back. 14:22, we're 4 minutes late, so we do indeed need to try and get some time if we can. Going to be difficult. You generally find that once you are behind time, it's very difficult to get that time back.
Welcome on board this service. Please be alert to the safety measures displayed in the rest of your areas of entry.
So another welcoming announcement for the passengers there about safety notices. So let's see if we can. What have we got? We've got 4.5 miles to Cholsey. Can't say I've ever heard of Cholsey, but if we're going Oxford to Reading, we'll be leaving behind Oxfordshire, and Reading is in Berkshire, so Cholsey possibly is on, I don't know, on the edge of Oxfordshire and Berkshire possibly. It's not one I'm familiar with, I have to admit. Looks like a gas tower type thing to our left here, gasworks or something by the look of it. I think that's what they usually are. Anybody knows this area and wants to tell us anything about it, add a comment to the video. It's always good to learn about different areas. It's impossible to know every area that you drive routes on in Train Simulator, but that's the point. I do like to experiment on different routes and see different things. I might have a look to see what sort of reasonably shortish in terms of time videos we've got for Donna Pass. Donna Pass is very pretty scenery, but I mean one of them I know is 315 minutes, which would be a bit long for a video really. But there may be some shorter ones. I'll have a look and see what I can come up with on that, and perhaps we'll do one of those next time. Edinburgh to Glasgow is also a nice route. Most of them I believe on that route are yellow difficulty, but we've done a few greens now with this one, so it might be nice to move on to a yellow. Starting to get a bit more difficult, and then you get to reds, and if you've got like 5 red blocks, then that's about as tough as it's going to get really. You do need your wits about you for those, certainly. So, coming down to about 2.5 miles out of Cholsey now. I don't think we're going to be able to pick up much time though, unfortunately. This is a 100 mile an hour limit, and I don't think we're going to get anywhere near 100. So if we could get up to 100 and perhaps do 100.9 or something, we might get some time back, but unfortunately I don't think that's going to happen. As I say, once you do get behind, you generally find it's hard to get it back, and very often you get further and further behind, unfortunately. But I guess that's also what happens in real life sometimes. Certainly I've experienced that on trains commuting into London, that they seem to be just a little bit late leaving London, and by the time you get home you're half an hour or something late. Which is hardly the end of the world, but a bit annoying when you've had a long hard day at work and you really just want to get home. Oh, the life of a commuter. In many ways though, one of the most frustrating things about commuting into London, to be honest, is the London Underground, or what the Americans would call the subway system. My experience was mainly on the Northern Line, which is notorious for having problems and running late. But you do have to bear in mind that the Underground is a Victorian system, and it's difficult to do much down there. Obviously it's underground, and you know, to get into the tunnels and do much work, really you can only do it in the middle of the night when the trains stop running. But then I think there has been suggestions that there'll be more night services and it'll be more 24-hour, which makes you wonder when they can get to do maintenance work. One assumes some of those tunnels, being Victorian, need a fair bit of maintenance, but there we go. Where there's single line, it's very difficult to do much. Where you've got two lines, I suppose you can run the trains down one line while you work on the other one or something. Certainly frustrating though when they are running late, which as a commuter I experienced a number of times. That said, I think you tend to take it for granted when they are running on time, so perhaps we shouldn't complain too much when they're late. So we're just going to Cholsey now, so I'm just braking for the end of the platform here. See if we can get 0.00 stop again. 01, so 00 should be coming up any second. Well, let's go for that. Okay, that'll be fine, so we'll look outside. Oh, quite a few getting off and a few getting on. It's quite a busy train, this one. Hello, get on my train. Anybody else? There's another guy getting on down there. You've not got long to get on now, people. If you want the train, jump on. One more guy did. Okay, so we're in a 100-mile-an-hour speed limit, so we're going to try and get going again. 14:27, we're 5 minutes late now, so it is getting worse as we go, unfortunately. But as I say, that is very often the case. This train doesn't seem terribly fast at accelerating out of platforms. It takes a while to get going. Passenger announcement. That's the don't leave luggage unattended announcement again. So we're now 3.717 miles from Goring and Streatley. Don't know that one either, so I think we may well be in Berkshire. I don't know Berkshire that well, so we may well have left Oxfordshire and gone into Berkshire. So at the moment we can just safely gain some speed. So do feel free to comment in the videos if there's anything you would like to see. Any particular routes or trains or anything like that, really. I'll do my best to accommodate whatever requests I can. Perhaps we might do Golden Age of Steam at some point. Those were the days, steam trains, my word. There are still some heritage railways, as they're called, where you can go and ride steam trains. I did that in Norfolk not too long ago. It's quite nice sitting on a steam train. Quite a bit different to sitting on these modern electrics, which are much quieter and much cleaner, you have to say. Steam trains belted out a lot of smoke and so on. Technology moves on and things do improve, and of course modern electric trains are a lot faster as well. So we're up to 70 odd mile an hour, but we're only 2 miles out now from the next station, so we're not going to get near 100 again. So unfortunately we're going to lose more time, I suspect, but not much I can do about it. I've had the acceleration on 100% the whole way since we left the last platform, so there isn't much more you can really do, and we need to start slowing now. Otherwise we won't be able to stop in time at Goring and Streatley. So let's get the speed dropping, and I'll be as brave as I can in terms of not slowing down too early, which may have lost us some time along the way, to be fair. Quite a bit of smoke rising from something here on the left. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe another power station or something. There's certainly smoke coming out of there. Alright, there's obviously something industrial there, producing a bit of smoke. So I don't want to slow down too much, because if I slow down too much too early, then we end up with losing a great deal more time. So let's try and do our best to be fairly aggressive in terms of entering the station and making sure that we can still stop by the end of the platform. In general, if you sort of get to the platform at around about 30 miles an hour, you can normally stop by the far end of the platform. Obviously it depends on the platform length at different stations, but that's the general rule of thumb. And now the platform's clearly in sight. I'm going to go down to about 30 here and we'll see. So as we come into the platform, in 29.4, so this will test my theory. So I'm going to start braking now. And I think you can see we would stop quite comfortably by the end of the platform. So going in at about 30 doesn't seem unreasonable. A few people on the platform, you can see. Are you coming on my train, ladies? Maybe. We'll see in a minute. So we're going to slow down now. And that will do nicely. So let's open the doors. Have a look outside and see if... Oh yes, the ladies are getting on our train. Several people getting on, several people getting off. It's quite a busy service, this one. It's a stopping service. A lot of faster services probably don't stop at some of these stations, so it might be why more people are getting off and on, because, you know, this is a stopping train. Gives them the opportunity, obviously, to get on and off at these smaller stations, which they wouldn't get on the faster trains. 14:30, we're now 6 minutes late. Normally I wouldn't go straight up to 100% like that in case of wheel slip, in case it's wet or something. But given that we're so far behind time and it's dry, I'm going to try and do the best I can. But so that was the passenger announcement saying stand clear of the doors when they hear the beep 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 beep, which says that they're about to close. So we're now heading for Pangbourne. We're about 3 miles out. So let's see if we can get there as quickly as we can, but still a 100-mile-an-hour limit and we're not getting up to 100. As I say, train is not the fastest in the world at picking up speed, so all we can do is put the acceleration to 100% and do the best we can, and then make sure we stop at the platform when we get there. So unfortunately it looks like we're going to be late. Do our best to keep the delay down as much as we possibly can, but I don't think there's much else we can do, to be honest. So we've got some nice scenery around by the look of it. Very pretty area. Yes, very nice. So only about 2 miles out of Pangbourne now. Pangbourne, I beg its pardon. And if we look, we're on instruction number 7, so we've got 2 more after this one. 1 more stop and then the final stop at the end. So we're coming up on 70 mile an hour, but you can see we're never getting anywhere near 100 before we need to brake for the next platform. So precious little chance of us getting any time back, I'm afraid. So again, I'm going to try not to brake too much too early, because that will not help our situation at all. But at the same time, you've got to make sure you can stop at the platform. It won't be very popular with the passengers if you go flying through a station that they wanted, or people there want to get on. We don't want to be missing scheduled stops. So we're slowing reasonably well in terms of arriving at Pangbourne, I think. I've never driven this particular route before, so I've no idea whether this delay is really serious in terms of, you know, or whether it's just something that always happens on this particular run. I don't know. There are some routes where trains do always seem to be running a bit late. Not sure quite why that is, but maybe they just need to adjust the timetabling slightly. Very often it's a stopping service in front of a faster train, and the faster train can't actually do much about it. But there's two tracks here, so if there are faster trains coming through, they could be going straight through on the other track and not stopping while we stop at this station and all others on our route today. Pangbourne looks like a fairly small town, or possibly even just a village. Difficult to say, but doesn't look like the biggest place in the world, I've got to say. I'm sure it's very pretty. It certainly looks a very pretty area, so probably a nice area to live. Okay, so I'm going to pull up about here. With any luck, we'll be on 0.00. Yep. So that's just about a perfect stop. So let's open the doors and have a look again. A few people getting off, and a few getting on by the look of it. Unfortunately, we are running late, and there's very little we can do about it. So we did have that signal that was on red a lot of the time we were approaching it before it changed. So we're now about 8 minutes late, but I think that put us behind, and then we haven't been able to get the time back since. You hear that buzz buzz is the guard actually signalling that we're okay to go. So Tilehurst is the next stop, and then after that we've got our final destination.
When the audible warning sounds, stand clear of the doors as they are about to close.
Passenger announcement again, warning of the audible door sound when they're closing. Got to say, this is one of the few routes where I've actually heard passenger announcements. I don't remember too many on other routes. There may be a few. Quite a nice touch to hear the passenger announcements when people get on. Of course, in reality, you normally get on and they tell you which stations they're going to be stopping at. Especially if it's a non-stopping train or something, and you get on and then suddenly realise you're in fact on the wrong train, which is never a good thing. So, smoke rising to the left again, so another industrial complex of some sort by the look of it. It's a very cloudy morning, very grey skies. I'm not sure what time of the year this is set at. It's 2:45 in the afternoon and extremely grey, so if it's summer, it's not a typical summer's day, that's a sure fact. Although some would say cloud and rain is a typical summer's day for the UK. Great British tradition is complaining about the weather. It's too hot, too cold, too wet, too dry. It's always something. But we do seem to be getting more and more extremes, whether that's global warming or climate change or whatever they're calling it. I'm not sure, but certainly the extremes of weather do seem to get... Recently we had a lot of flooding and strong winds and all that sort of thing. The seasons in many ways seems to be getting the same. It's hardly possible sometimes to tell the difference between summer and winter anymore. Winter seems to be getting milder. This winter's been very mild in the UK. I know America had some terrible snowstorms recently. So anybody New York area listening, hope you coped with that reasonably well. I know it was pretty awful for you. We haven't had snow and ice in this country. I don't think I've defrosted my car window once, which is very unusual. But we have had a lot of strong winds and a lot of rain. So there's a warning board there for a 75 mile an hour limit coming up, but that's the other side of the station anyway. So let's see if we can slow down for Tilehurst. Try and go in at about 30 miles an hour and stop at the far end of the platform so that we hopefully don't lose any more time. No, I think it's a losing battle on this run, unfortunately. This doesn't look like the longest platform in the world either, so make sure that we're comfortably able to stop by the end of it, which I think we will without too much difficulty. We'll stop about there. Right on 0.00, so can't do much better than that. So more people getting off, more people getting on, and last stop to come. I've heard of Tilehurst near Reading, I believe, and we're going into Reading next, so I'm pretty sure that will be the Tilehurst that I've heard of, although I can't say I've ever visited, to be honest. It looks like a very pretty area, just a shame it's a very cloudy grey day. Now let's see how far we've got to the next stop. 14:40, we're about 9 minutes late now, and Reading's only 2 miles away, so we're not going to gain any time there. So unfortunately it's not been possible to really get any time back. So apologies to the passengers. So welcome message again, and mentioning the safety notices again. And we're heading for Reading platform 7, so get there as reasonably as we can. But as I said earlier, do comment in the videos as to what you would like to see, and I'll do my best to accommodate your wishes. I mean, obviously whatever seems to be the most popular will be the ones that I'll tend to go for, but if you want to make a suggestion, feel free. That 25 board was pointing left, so I don't think that's going to be us. Looks like we're coming towards a 50 though. And I'm already doing almost 60, so I'm going to have to slow again fairly soon. So we've got a green light. The board above the green light's not lit pointing left, so we're obviously not going left. So I'll reduce the acceleration, and then we need to brake slightly in a minute or two to get us down to 50, and then 25 going into Reading, so it's going to be pretty much decelerating all the way now. So we've got a yellow signal as well. So that's a warning for it. A warning of the 50-mile-an-hour limit as well. So it's a double yellow. That's fine. Means the next one is probably single yellow. One after that could be red. So we need to keep our eyes open to see if that's the case. So we're coming past a football ground on the right there, Reading, possibly. Not sure. I assume that's Reading football ground. Or is it simply an industrial area? Well, it looks like it's just some lights over the rail tracks or something, where they perhaps do a lot of work at night. So maybe not a football ground after all. So we're coming towards this 25 speed limit now, so to make sure we slow down for that. The good thing about standard mode is that you can practice routes without worrying about your points. Once you get into career, if you do speed or anything like that, you lose a lot of points very quickly. Looks like we're going across to the other track, which is no doubt why we've got the 25 limit. There we go. So we're going to be stopping at the right hand platform by the look of things. Possibly we're going even further to the right. Let's just see. Yes, we are. We're going in here. So we need to make sure we stop by the end here. That's remarkably short, actually. So just about stopping time. Yes, that's going to be fine. That's okay. So we can open the doors and everybody's getting off our train. So not the greatest run in terms of keeping to timetable, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. And we'll see what it says to us in a minute, but I'm sure we're not going to get exactly a fantastic rating on this because we did lose some time, but we'll have gained some experience points. Always a good thing. Always nice as well to run different routes and learn different. Okay, managed to successfully stop at each station. The scenario is complete, so that's okay. So thank you for that, and I'll see you next time when we'll possibly look at Donner Pass. Okay, take care, bye now.